How you guys doing?
Doing well. Thank you for asking. Appreciate your time as always. For members of the media on the call, please press *1 at this time to get in the queue for interim head coach Tim Lappano of Georgia State. Coach, you last played on November 19th, so you had an open week this past week before Idaho. What did you accomplish during the open week in preparation for this game?
Well, we got a couple bonus days in on Monday and Tuesday, and a little extra preparation for Idaho, which was nice. And then we took a couple days off, to try to get back. We're a little bit of a banged up football team after the Georgia Southern game, and a couple of weeks before that. So seeing our kids today out on the practice field with smiles on their face and a lot of energy and enthusiasm, I think we got our mission accomplished in getting a couple extra practices and then getting some of our key players, healthy. So I thought that worked out pretty well for us.
And, Coach, this upcoming game is against Idaho, and head coach Paul Petrino was just on the line as well talking about your team. But your thoughts on Idaho as you head into this game?
Well, congratulations to Coach Petrino. He's done a heck of a job. He's turned that program around, and I think it all starts with Matt Lenahan, who I know fairly well. I worked with his dad at Detroit Lions for 5 years, and I coached him at the University of Idaho. So, I know Matt's a really good player. He's very accurate. He's very smart. He comes from a football family, obviously, and they're protecting him really well. I think their offensive front's playing a lot better than it did a year ago, and he's getting the ball out. He's very accurate, and he knows where to go with the football and understands the game. So that it starts with with their pass. Their back end is their defense is playing well too. They're very multiple in their fronts. They give you some different looks and different coverages in the back end, and they play hard. They run to the football, and they're playing with a lot of. I just see a team that believes they can win and playing with a lot of swagger and a lot of confidence right now.
Coach, you mentioned being familiar with Idaho quarterback Matt Linehan, but you're also familiar with Idaho itself. I mean, this obviously won't come up in any game plan scenarios as you prepare for this week, but going back to your alma mater and the Kibbe Dome, what's that going to be like?
Well, it's very ironic, that I started my career there. I played football there for 5 years, and then I coached there for another 4. It was my first college job under first-year head coach Dennis Erickson, and it's pretty special to go back to to my alma mater. There's a lot of people that treated me really well there, both when I was a player and as a coach, and it'll be good to reconnect with some friends back there and getting a chance to see the facilities a little bit. I know they've updated them. I haven't been back there in about 20 years, so it will be good to reconnect with some friends.
Coach, we'll go to our first questions here on the call from Theo Lawson with the Lewiston Tribune.
Yeah, hey Tim, just to kind of piggyback off of that last question, if you could kind of speak about some of your distinct memories of Idaho and your playing time there, if there were a few of those that kind of stuck out for you.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. I scored my first touchdown against Las Vegas, and believe it or not, a guy threw a $20 bill at me on the field, and I'll never forget it. Mark Smaha was the trainer, and I looked up and I thought the guy was throwing something at me, and I kind of gave him a little bit of stink eye, and I looked down and I thought, good grief, the guy just threw me a 20, and he said, great run. So it was for my first college touchdown. It's a true freshman, and I gave the $20 to Mark Smaha, our trainer. He kept it for me. So that was fun. And one thing that wasn't fun is I probably had my best career game at the University of Idaho. I was a true freshman, and I started against Washington State. And I believe, I swear to God, we were favored going into the game, and we got beat 84-27. But I had 188 yards rushing, I believe, and I scored a touchdown and 2-point play. So that was good for me coming down from Spokane, and a lot of my friends actually went to Washington State, and I was playing against them. So that was another memory. But there was a lot of good people in that community that treated me really well, both as a player and when I was coaching there. So I've already had a couple calls for some people that want to reconnect a little bit, so it'll be good to see some of those people that were really good to me during those years.
Are you at all able to lend some perspective to your team about what it's like to play in the QB Dome and kind of just that unique atmosphere that most college players don't get to play in?
Yeah, I mean, I know that they're probably. I think the crowds there look like they're starting to get better there, and that's a tough place to play. When you get when you fill those seats up in there, it's it's a fun place to play. You don't have to worry about the inclement weather this time of year. So I know we're looking forward to going in that type of climate, and playing that where you don't have to worry about the wind or the rain or anything like that. So a very fun place to play and a very tough place to play when that gets rocking in there. It's I'm sure it's an advantage for them.